Good morning and welcome to another episode of Mornings with me. Today we'll be covering how to raise kids when you don't like kids. And this is my favorite one, but unfortunately we have our moments. So yeah, first, admitting that you don't like kids. You know, it's kind of taboo to say, I don't like kids. Especially in the circles of, people that are on the path to enlightenment. Because, kids are our future. They are purity. They are, just this idea that they're perfect, and even the saying that you must be a child to enter the gates of heaven. There's a lot about going back to being a child and being childlike, but there's also a lot of realities with kids. And when I grew up, I was alone most of the time as a child. And
I'm not. I have a friend face on over there whenever I'm sad.
She does have a lot of friends. And and then I was a tattoo artist. There's no one under 18 allowed in a tattoo studio. The youngest kid I ever had in this shop was 14. And at first I was so mean to him, lovingly mean. And I was like, what are you doing? Come around here, kid. You don't need to be here. You're not big enough. Your britches are too small to be here, kid. I would literally called him the kid. Bless his heart. I met his parents finally. I was like, well, if you're going to be coming around here, kid, I'm going to have to meet your parents. So I met his parents. They were super cool, and he started coming around, and I really, really loved him. He was a great little artist, great little help. Anytime I ever was like, hey, kid, take out that trash, he was like on it. He was great. Anyway, mature for his age. But yeah, it's not that I can't appreciate kids sometimes, and I can have fun with kids. They're cute. They're little human beings, they're adorable. But I have found, as Sophie has gotten older, that I can get very triggered by this 5-year-old human being. Basically, when she's really loud, when she's repetitive in over and over and over and over and over and over, like that will make me explode. And I'm like, shut up, Whew. Stories that don't go anywhere, like I really try and listen to her, because it's important to listen to our kids, and that she is felt like she's heard, right? That's important for her little root chakra energy, that she feels heard. But when the story is literally like, I am so not interested in the whatever she's talking about, the nonsense, especially if it doesn't make any sense. Like, I can kind of follow along if it makes sense, but if it's nonsense, I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, why are you even talking? Really bad for me is sick, when they're sick. And Sophie's not sick often, but the runny noses, God, the runny noses really get to me. The sneezing on me is really hard. And she's actually kind of sick right now, kind of snuffly, but at least it's not running out of her nose. And that she won't blow her nose. Like, that really bothers me. Like, why don't you go blow your nose? Like, go to the bathroom. So anyway, all of this stuff, I'm starting to learn that this is really, really, really agitating me. Oh gosh, yeah, when they're in your way, when you're just trying to go somewhere and all of a sudden they're right there, this little human being right in your way, and you're like stumbling over them. That really gets me too.
Like this.
So yeah,
Like this.
yeah. Now, the first thing I had to do is know myself and realize this about myself. Because when you're in the moment, you're just mad. You're just upset. You just don't like your child all of a sudden. You're just filled with these emotions of like, I do not like you right now. But I did want to say that when she was a baby, like the infant stage,
I was like this small.
I was in heaven. Having something that is completely helpless, that you can just like put in the, what's that round beanie bop pillow thing that they set you on? You're not supposed to put them on the bed with it, but you know, just like having her like crawl around, you know, that's like having like a puppy, like a pet, you know. It's like, and feeding, the breastfeeding part was amazing. And oh my God, like laying in the bed all day with this little thing, and the whole world accepts that. Because I mean, I didn't have to work, thank God. My mother, bless her heart, and her husband let me stay there. Because I mean, in my story, you will find out that, the story time with Eve, that other channel is basically my journals that start out with nothing but a backpack and a baby. I literally had nothing at that point but my backpack and my baby, and I came home to my mom's house and was like, here I am. Which I did create a very beautiful, safe haven, womb-like place to raise this baby, the infant stage, which I adored. I loved it. I nailed it. But yeah, as she's growing up, I was looking for the terrible twos. They called it the terrible twos. When she was 2, I was like, I don't know what's so terrible about this. 2 was nothing. 3, I was like, this is starting to get a little annoying. 4 was annoying. And now 5.5. Woo! Oh my goodness. You were so annoying. Okay. Also, yeah, that's the energy. I build her up, and then she gets way over. I'm like, okay, that's too much. Bring it down. I also just found out that Venus has been in Aries as well, so it really has been a difficult week for me and her. And so yeah, one thing I learned about myself is how highly empathic I am. Like growing up, I knew that I was feeling the animals, and then as I've been working with coma and reconnecting and healing myself, I've noticed how I feel other people's emotions really deeply as well, and it gets really confusing. Well, now I have this 5-year-old that is literally like from my body. Like I grew her in my stomach. Like this stuff is like my stuff. It just like grew in my belly. All of this, like I created this, or I grew this in my stomach. So the connection is incredible. I feel everything that she feels. So
that's what I'm seeing.
This amplifies, as well as, see, my inner child is wild and free. She was never really injured. She was completely, alone as a child. And then as I grew up, And as I went into this scary place, I magically put her in a safe place so that she wouldn't get damaged. So my inner child is completely like this. This is the embodiment, the physical embodiment of my inner child. She's wild and crazy. So
Mommy,
when
I want YouTube.
we are on YouTube,
Oh.
people gonna be watching you, baby.
No?
Anyway, so she brings out my inner child, right? Like, it's almost like she invokes the inner child in me. And then all of a sudden I find that we are fighting like sisters. Like, I'm literally 6 or 7. I'm the older sister for sure. But I'm just as emotional and, yeah, like,
Okay, on the computer.
so we become sisters. Yeah, and thank God that I have had the community with me there's been certain key people that have really been able to lovingly show this to me. Not that it doesn't hurt. You know, when you're shown a shadow, as loving as the person can be and sit down with you and say, you know, this is something you should really look at, it still hurts your ego. It's still like, I don't know if I'm ready. You know, it's hard, right? I just want to say thank you for all of the coma kids that have come through and helped me on my journey. But, so yeah, you know, okay, so the most important thing that I have found is to live my truth and be truthful with this little human being. I have to be truthful with her. And honest. I tell her, Sophie, you are triggering me right now. I really, really do not like what you're doing. I mean, it can be I really don't like what you're doing right now. Please stop or I am going to explode. I'm going to try not to. I mean, that's the point, is that we're working towards the not. I mean, eventually she's not going to be 5, right? So. So yeah, you know, I was like, so Sophie, like, if there's something that you don't like, what don't you like? Being pushed is what she said. And I was like, okay, yeah, you don't like being pushed because, why? Because you don't like being pushed down. Well, it sucks to be pushed. For somebody to push you.
Yeah, because my head hurts when I fall down.
Oh yeah, it hurt your head. But I was like, well, that's perfect, because it's like when she's triggering me, I feel like I'm energetically being pushed by this little kid. Like, you know. So,
Like this?
yeah. So it's important for me to let her know that, you know, she knows I grew up in a tattoo studio. I've told her that I don't like kids. But I've also told her that she is my favorite human being on this planet. She also knows the reason why I'm not used to having a lot of kids around, because of how I grew up, you know? And she knows, what's the age that you gotta be at a tattoo studio?
18.
She knows the shit, right? She knows she's not allowed in the tattoo studio. She grew up with it, right? So, being truthful with her has been the most important and the most,
Mommy, what? Is it my birthday today to go meet Mom and Papa?
yeah,
Yay,
the most beneficial thing for our communication. As well as the apology.
Not my birthday.
which works both ways. When I do blow up at her, I'm human. I mean, I am on the path to enlightenment, but I'm not Buddha. I'm a shaman that is also very connected to just this experience of being human. I'm here to play. I'm a joker. I'm a heyoki. I don't want to just sit on a rock and be silent. I want to play while I'm here. I'm like that kind of energy. So, when the waters, I don't physically like to surf, but mentally I love surfing the waters of emotions. And when our emotions go crazy and it gets loud, and maybe we say some stuff that we shouldn't have said, there is an apology. I apologize. Not only to her, I have to forgive myself for doing it too. I can't beat myself up for blowing up at the kid, you know? I can't be like, oh, I'm the worst parent ever. I suck at this. I'm terrible. Like, I've just ruined this. No, I haven't ruined this child. The child is like 5. Like, she gets in fights with her friends all the time, right? So, as long as I'm apologetic and I teach her, this also really came to me, like, recently after a bad blow up. My sister-in-law messaged me and made me cry because she was just like, you're teaching her the meaning of true apology and true forgiveness. And I was like, so yeah, that's really important, right? Is to apologize. And for her to learn that as an adult, an adult apologizes to a child.
Goodbye.
Especially, like, I'm also understanding, I've talked about time bending and time travel and, and, I'm the big sister. And, technically, if I really want to, like, be the truth of it, I'm more like an older brother. That's more the reality. I'm more like an older brother. Oh gosh, I grew up with an older brother. Bless his heart. Yeah, definitely more of an older brother. Whew. The Mars energy is real. So let's go to the cards. What do the cards have to say? Center card, the subject matter, Ace of Swords. Now, I know you don't have aces in a spiritual tarot deck, but Ace of Swords is a newness. The ace is an ace, right? This is the roots of the power of air, because swords is air. Swords symbolizes thinking and etheric, all that stuff, right? So we're talking about new thoughts, new ideas. That can make sense. Like this is a new human. This thing right here. She's like a new human on the planet. So let's go to the north. What's up in the north? What are we thinking about? What is the thought process? And I flip it, and it's the King of Wands, which it's fire king. So, so he's hot-tempered, forceful, but, he's a king. He's charismatic. He can be kid-like. He's entrepreneurial. Because he has the mind of a child, he can... Stop. Stop. Example. Good example. But we can stop the example now. But yeah, so because he's a child, he has all those new ideas. All right? I actually gave her permission to bother me in this episode. So, all other times it's very much prepping her for each video to be quiet. But anyway, moving along. South. What is in the south? I flip it and it's 10 of hearts. Cups. 10 of cups. 10 of cups. Like, rooted in family, commitment to family, the love of family. Don't touch the thing. Fulfillment of your home, the people that are surrounding you, that are in your life, that you support. You're rooted in that family. And I was like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Rooted in love. Moving to the east, what is shedding light on the subject? 4 of Wands. There's another fire. And 4, my favorite number. This card is like a goal achieved, perfected work, like good job. Like this card, I'm like, okay, what's shedding light on it? And it was like a thumbs up from the universe to me. I was like, thanks. I appreciate that. That was cool. Perfected work, you know? And when I look in this child's eyeballs, I do see perfected work. Like she is my masterpiece. And there is no way in any dimensional reality that I am going to let this child down for any reason whatsoever. I will support her physically. I'm supporting her. I'm not going to drop her. You know, I'm going to feed her and take care of this thing, this chunk of earth. Anyway, moving along. I'm getting distracted. I will move planets around for her, is what I wrote in my journal. But this card is not about the action. This card is about the rest. The rest from action. She is Gemini. She's stellar Gemini. Okay. This card is indicating a rest, an easy, like, you can chill out, you know? You can chill. Easy. Just be calm. Breathe. So at the end of the day, in the West, 2 of Pentacles came up. And this card is harmonious change. It's 2. It's juggling the physical, the resources. It's also, you know, waiting on the results of stuff that's happened and what you're doing. But I also, you know, it's 2 and it's Earth. So it's a balanced or maybe imbalanced of Pentacles, which is Earth and earthly matter.
I need to be on Earth matter.
And one of the things that I thought about was like 2 and Earth. I thought me and her. And I thought I was 1 and you're 2. And we're both made of Earth. And then I thought, she is such a mini-me. Like, intensity and just empathicness. She is amazing. And yeah, anyway, my mini-me. My number 2. I'm number 1. You're number 2. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I was really excited about this episode. So I hope you liked it, and I hope it helps some of you out there, because I know the struggle. I feel the struggle. I know how hard it is to have a little human being. It seems like they're trying to mess everything up. But please like and subscribe. And I keep forgetting to mention my Patreon account, which would really help Coma out. And it's a donation-based community. I mean, sometimes it's a community. The community comes and goes. It's still a community. Like, I still have a lot of Coma people out there that are still connected to Coma, but at the moment they're not here. Sometimes they come and they go. It's a flowy kind of place. I think that's needed for communities in the way that we're living now.
Come on, let's go.
Whole nother episode. When to move and when to stick and stay. Maybe that'll be tomorrow. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe. Check out my Patreon account. Check out my books on Amazon. #MysticEve, A Seeker's Story. And I will get back on to the storytelling, which will commence. I think the next part of the story is me actually moving to Costa Rica. So yeah, check that out. Thank you so much. Ciao.
Ciao, 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 ciao.